Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my smoked hickory chicken sandwich with sauteed mushrooms and onions, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and then we're going to also be putting some horseradish garlic mayo. Don't forget the side of au jus. Yeah, it always makes it just that much better. Very simple recipe, very easy to use, and today I'm going to show you how I do mine. So right here I have 2 cups of hickory wood chips. 2 cups will give you about a 45-minute burn, but you do have to soak them for about half an hour to 40 minutes, somewhere in that area. So I always get these guys going first, let them sit and soak the water up while I'm making the other stuff here. So put some water in here. Okay, so we have that. Water's in there, it's perfect. So, basic rub, very simple. Half a cup of Montreal steak spice, tablespoon and a half of chipotle, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour them all into here, to a measuring cup. So again, this is the half a cup of Montreal steak spice. We have a tablespoon and a half of chipotle. You can add a little bit more. I kind of like the kick, so sometimes I usually put 2 tablespoons in. And we have 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And then we have 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Now we're going to take this, and we're going to stir it up here. So it's all nice and blended. Whatever you don't use, you can seal into a glass jar with an airtight lid, and this will last a couple months for you. Okay, so that's pretty much mixed up pretty good. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly wash my hands here one more time. Okay, now we're going to apply it to the bird. If you notice here, I have kind of the bottom of it, I guess, sticking up. And why I do this is when I apply all the rub on the bird, make sure you get it all in the little nooks and crannies. But when I flip the bird around and I do the top of it, I'm not going to be transporting it off my tray. You see, I have my smoking tray already here. When you cover the whole bird with your rub and you're trying to move it into your smoker, it makes a mess. You know, excess rub falls off on the ground or whatever it might be. So I have a pan. Underneath it, I have my rack, which is going to go into my smoker over to here. Okay, I'm going to start applying the rub to the bird. Again, just getting on all the little areas. I want to do a nice coat of this here. A lot of people, they put the rubs on, they actually put the meat of the bird into a tray or a pan so they can get all the rub on it, but I just felt that this works well for me. Again, there are other ways to do it. Nice good coating on there. Okay, gets in there nicely. Then I'm going to flip it over. Screw it like this. Okay. Now this is where we're going to put a lot on here because it's going to stay up like this in the smoker. Yeah, that's getting on there nicely. This is always the messiest part. It gets all over the counter and the floor. So with it. I like to put a little bit just kind of inside the inside cavity there, because then when this thing drips the juices, I gather the juice, and when I pull the meat off this thing, when I throw it on smoking, I mix it back into its juices, and then you get that extra flavor in there. It's awesome. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Stick some on there. Okay, so I would say that's pretty much covered. Okay. Now, if you had any leftover rub, I'll show you how I usually store it. Just wash my hands here. So as I said, the rub does last in, you know, for a couple months in some airtight containers. So what I usually do is I have these containers here, and they have these little labels, and you can write on them with chalk, and you can write what rubs are in them. So I have different rubs for, you know, different pulled porks and hamburger patties and all this stuff. So yeah, it works. It's great. So it's airtight, nicely labeled, and very nice and organized. Okay, so the next step is preparing the smoker. So I will meet you outside. Okay, we're outside. One step closer to smoking the bird. All right, out here I have our hickory wood chips. They've been soaking for about half an hour, 40 minutes, so they're ready to go. I have a remote temperature sensor, which I'm going to talk about this soon. This is probably the most important thing you need to get. We have our extra water for our reservoir for inside the smoker. And we have our remote temp sensor that we carry around with you. You can check on the fly your meat temperature and the heat inside the smoker. Okay, bottom tray, wood chips, now the smoker is already on. The temperature is about 230, so it's a good number. So I'm going to pull out the bottom tray. Drain the water out of here. Pour it into the tray. See, we have wood chips there, nice and moist. We're going to start smoking. Put it back into the smoker. Put the bird in there. Yeah, yummy. There we go. So we got the chicken. We have some water reservoir right here. Not sure if you can see that. This right here. That has water in it to keep the moisture into your whatever meat that you're smoking. We have also the reservoir that comes with the smoker down here. And then we have our tray to collect the drippings from the chicken. Because when the chicken's done, I'm going to pull it apart and mix it back into the drippings. It's excellent. So I'm going to come back in a few minutes when I start smoking, and I'll explain some of the gauges and things on this. Thanks. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. It's already starting to smoke, as you see there. So you'll probably smoke for somewhere around 45 minutes or so. That's usually about what 2 cups of wood chips will do. Right here we are using the Masterbuilt Pro smoker from Home Depot. Basically has the propane fuel in it, so there's a burner at the bottom. And then I have the wood sitting in the wood tray, as you see there, right? You don't see any controls in the front here because I installed this thing in the wall here and I reversed the controls, so they're actually on the back side. The wall is actually open on the back. We have our remote sensor. Now it usually spikes. The temperature will usually spike when you have the wood burning also in there. So right now we're about 262, which is pretty hot, but it should drop very soon. You want somewhere around the 225 to 250 mark. That's a pretty comfortable level there. We have one prong going into the meat. Make sure it goes into a nice thick portion of it, and it's roughly in the middle of the bird. And then we have the other sensor here, basically just inside the smoker, reading the temperature inside of it. Okay, I'm gonna report back in maybe like an hour and a half. Okay, so it's been about 3.5 hours since we put the chicken in, and right now, according to our meter here, we have an inside temperature of 166. That means we probably have about half an hour or so. So right now is a good time to start on the mushrooms and some onions. So we have all this right here, mushrooms and onions. We have the au jus sauce being warmed up. And we're going to start getting ready for it, so check in soon. Okay, it's been 4.5 hours. Chicken is done. Internal temperature of 169. Temperature of the smoker 157. Internal temperature just went to 170. Okay, check that out right there. It's always good to have a second thermometer kicking around, so you can just double check. Put that in there. Like that, eh? Looks good. Juices are in there. Water trays are still good. Perfect. And let's see what this thing here says. And we have 170, so yeah, it's perfect. All right, we're gonna pull it out. I'll start creating the sandwiches pretty soon. So right now I'm just pulling the chicken. Look at this. Look, it just falls off the bone. That's absolutely perfect right there. 170 inside temperature, just falls right off. So the plan is to pull all the chicken off, mix it back in the little bit of juice that I have here, and then during the time I'm going to be cooking the mushrooms, cooking the onions, getting the au jus dip, and I'll come back soon. Okay, right now I'm just pulling all the meat apart here. If you notice, I left all the skin in here. It's got lots of flavor in the skin from the rub that we made. Just going to mix it all together here. So this is looking really good. It smells absolutely amazing. So we're getting now down to the last little bits. My mushrooms are finished. The onions are all done. Now it's just a matter of making the sandwiches, which I'll show you how we do that. Alright, look at that, eh? Absolutely amazing. Smells great. Oh yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so we have the bun being warmed up here. It's got the garlic butter on it, a little bit of horseradish. We have our wonderful pulled chicken right there. A little bit of onions, some mushrooms. That's the au jus over there, which is right there. It's all come together really nicely. Okay, we've just toasted our bun. Now we're going to put some of the pulled chicken on it. I'm not going to put any skin on it, that's just in there for flavor, but here's a bunch of the chicken here. Yeah, looks great. It's going to go in there like that. Okay, we have the completed sandwiches here. So we have the pulled chicken, we have the sautéed mushrooms and onions with garlic butter and some horseradish, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and a little bit of salt and pepper. That looks absolutely amazing. And we have our au jus there, and leftovers for tomorrow night. Okay, we have the final product 5 hours later. There's the final product right there. You got the au jus. This is gonna be amazing. Wow, that was good. It's definitely worth the 5 hour wait. Absolutely worth it. Bang on. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you had a chance to try that sandwich out. Let me know your thoughts. See you later.